Okay, I'm going to start off with a joke. This is a true story, but it's hilarious. This evangelist, I'm not going to name who, he's in India somewhere preaching the gospel. He calls his kids to see how they're doing. We're miserable here. Daddy, you guys are having there, you and mom are having there, you guys are there having fun, and we're here in school. School started, it's horrible, it's miserable. Oh, son, all we're doing here is fasting and praying and preaching. We're not having any fun. Yeah, right. So, and then again, 10 days later, the school calls him and says, you know what, your kids, is something going on with your kids? They haven't been here for school. It's been like 10 days. So he calls his children, hey, what's going on? I got a call from school. They said you haven't been to school. You guys haven't been to school for like 10 days. Oh, Daddy, we were fasting and praying. This is a true story. The secret of life that everyone's looking for, all my women, my single women. What do men want in a woman? What do they want? Out of millions of women, they choose one person. And sometimes that person is not even aesthetically pleasant, and they're not even that gorgeous and beautiful, but you see that man loving that woman. What is the secret? What do men want in a woman? What do they love? And what do they gravitate towards? I'm going to discuss and choose David and Bathsheba. Why Bathsheba out of all the women? And Samson. Samson had a thing for women. He was obsessed with women. Samson was like hot. He was beautiful. He was handsome. He was anointed by God. He was a Nazarene, which means he couldn't drink, he couldn't cut his hair, and his strength was in his hair. That was his secret. And he basically was the savior of Israel, okay? And just kicking everybody's butt, all the Philistines. Nobody was able to defeat this man, okay? So, however, he lost all that weakness for one woman. He gave all of his power up, technically, for one woman, for Delilah. Why? Delilah. Why Delilah? After all those, he was with prostitutes, beautiful women, you name it. So, Delilah, was she good in bed? Was she good sexually? Why? No, it cannot be a sexual thing, though that's part of it. But ladies and gentlemen, if a man is searching for the best woman who is good in bed, that will be, I don't know, millions of women. So then if it's not sex, then what is it? There's way more important things than sex. Samson, and the thing is that Samson knew that Delilah wanted to get the secret out of him because nobody knew what the secret was of his strength, of his God-given strength. And she wanted to get it out of him. She wanted to get it out of him. And he would just lie and say, oh, it's my nails, or it's my hair, it's this and that. So he wouldn't tell her the truth until she basically got it out of him. But I'm not looking at the bad side of Delilah. I'm looking at the good side. I'm approaching this story in a positive way, why did Samson, what was it? You know what it was? Samson, at the end of the day, he went to every woman. He had every woman that he put his hand on. But at the end of the day, Delilah was the only woman that he gravitated towards, that he came back to, even though he knew that she's trying to know his secret so she could go and tell the Philistines to get him, to kill him. He knew that. But what was the weakness that he still loved her so much that he went back to her? The secret is he was able to lay his head. Men want to lay their head on a woman's bosom. Not physically necessarily. They want to feel that they are loved, okay? That they are nurtured. And they don't want to go home to a woman who's going to argue and nag. They don't want to go to a woman who doesn't feed him or try to feed him, try to cook for him. They don't want a woman who outshines him. Now, they do not want a woman who is like down here, you know what I mean? Like low class. I'm sorry. They want a strong woman. However, they don't want that strength to be used on him necessarily. I had one of my exes, the number one, I would ask him, what's the number one thing that you love about me? He would say, I love your strength, and at the same time, I hate your strength. I love how strong you are, but I hate it when you use it on me. The men are all like that. They want a strong woman. They do not want a weak woman. However, they don't want you to use that strength on him, which makes sense. God in the Bible, in the scripture, wants you to be strong too. Proverbs 30, go read Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman. She does everything. But at the end of the day, she is so confident. Men love confident women. She is so confident that she bows. Now, I'm not talking about you going down, kissing his feet, bowing down to him. No. But you have to show your weakness. You have to show weakness towards him. Like, I'm strong, but with you, I'm weak. Like, you are strong to everybody, but you are not strong to him because he's special to you. Men want to feel king. A man inside is king. I'm sorry, women, but God made men as a higher, I'm sorry, you could say whatever you want to say. God made men as a higher being and a woman as a little lower, but equal at the same time. I'm not saying, and God is not saying that a woman should be a slave. No, not like that. But you have different qualities and properties, and he has different qualities. For example, two people cannot drive the same car, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody has to be the passenger and somebody has to be the driver. Otherwise, this is why divorce. People want to be equal. Somebody has to give up. I don't care. You could say whatever you want to say. You can't be equal. Technically equal, yes, but you can't. Somebody has to kind of lead. Submission is the secret. Men, you could say whatever you want to say. Men want submission. And if you are a godly woman, you will enjoy to submit. I don't submit. I'm not going to submit to everybody. No. I will submit to you if I know you are higher than me. I can't submit to a man who I know is lower than me. And it could be financially, it could be his strength, it could be his power, it could be his intelligence, aristocracy, all of that. I love submitting. However, I'm not going to submit to something that's lower than me. He has to be smarter than me. He has to be wiser than me. He has to be more intelligent than me. I want to learn something from him. If it's the other way around, it will never work. Woman is not supposed to be the head. Woman is not supposed to hold the power, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the story of Samson and Delilah. After all the women, this man chose Delilah. Because Delilah was submissive to him. Delilah loved him. Delilah didn't outshine him. Even though you're right, don't show your man that, you know, I'm right all the time. Just approach it in a different way. Like, let's say you are initiating an idea, so initiate it in this way, rather than saying, oh, you know what? I want to do this. We should do this. No. Say, hey, what do you think about this? I know women are getting mad at me right now. But I'm sorry. If you want your relationship to work, you cannot be the leader. You can't. You can't be the leader. I'm sorry. The man is the head. A woman is the neck that turns the head. Have David. He had, I think before Bathsheba, he had like 3-4 other wives. I think he had 3 wives and other concubines. And he wanted Bathsheba. He saw her. He fell into his lust. He got her pregnant. He murdered the husband. He married her. This is David we're talking about, King David, God's favorite man. People fall, ladies and gentlemen. It's just so sad when you look at David's story. And this happened for a woman. Why? Why did David love her so much? Again, she was submissive. She loved him. She made him feel like a king. A woman can take a man and make him either a king or a peasant. A woman has a lot of power. God has given women a lot of power. They are very wise. They are very smart. Remember, God did not create woman out of the dirt like he did Adam. He created woman out of the rib of the Adam. She was more clean. She was more, I'm just kidding. She was very wise. She's very intelligent. A woman is very intuitive. A man cannot be intuitive as a woman. A woman can look at someone and tell the story, oh, that's a fake laugh. Oh, you know, he or she is, they're evil, they're monster inside. And the man is like, oh, really? I don't think so, no. He's so nice, she's so nice, she's always laughing. No, honey, that's a fake laugh. So it's just so sad. David, but, oh, how can you prove that Bathsheba was his favorite? Well, she was there at the bedside when David was dying. It was her. He wanted her. She was at the bedside. And I don't know about the other wives, but they weren't there when he was dying. It was Bathsheba. And he made sure that Bathsheba's son and his son Solomon was from Bathsheba, got the kingdom. And of course, God chose Solomon as well. You know, God is so wonderful. I mean, no matter what, he still forgave her and he still forgave him and made sure that out of the womb of Bathsheba comes the king of Israel, which was Solomon. It's a beautiful story. And David, until his death, he was with Bathsheba. She was, out of all his wives, his favorite. Ask yourself why. Why? Because she wasn't probably arguing with him all the time, ladies and gentlemen. She wasn't making him, even though he was wrong sometime, even though, David is wrong sometime, she wouldn't rebuke him in front of other people. Do not rebuke a man in front of other people, in front of his friends, in front of your friends, in front of just anybody. When you're alone with him, it's okay. But there are some things that you cannot show when you're in front of other people. Don't ever lower your husband. Don't lower your mate. Make him feel like he's king and treat him like a king. Put him on a pedestal. People are going to hate me. Women hate it when one of my friends, I had a best friend. She couldn't stay friends with me just because of that. Just because I would tell her, you have to be submissive. What do you mean? She was a liberal, crazy Democrat, by the way. She was very smart. Harvard grad, you name it. She was very smart. You cannot be submissive to a man. This is the problem of women. They don't want to be submissive. In their language, submissive means a slave. No, it's not a slave. As a matter of fact, a weak woman says that. A weak woman is afraid to be submissive to her husband, is afraid to show her weakness because she's an insecure human being. She's insecure. Okay, the reason why you're treating that man that way is because in reality, you're insecure. I'm not insecure. You're the insecure one who's trying to constantly, oh, I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. And then you get mad. You see couples fighting amongst themselves because he's smarter than her. So she gets mad. How dare you say you're smarter than me? Are you kidding me? He's supposed to be smarter than you. I don't want a man who's dumber, who's dumb. I don't, or that I'm smarter than him. I don't want to be smarter than my mates, because if that's the case, I'm not going to respect him. I'm not. That's just who I am. I'm not going to respect a weak man. I'm not going to respect a man who doesn't want to dominate. And I'm not talking about a fake macho, idiotic way. No, I'm talking about a confident man who treats you like a queen, who treats you like a porcelain glass. How do you treat a porcelain glass? No, you can't shove it around and just wash it any way you want and just throw it around like you can with plastic cup. No, choose a man who's going to treat you like a porcelain cup and not a plastic cup. That's the secret. Don't ever try to look like or be like another person, another woman. No. Why would you try to change your fingerprint? That's what you're born with. Why were you try to go have plastic surgery to change your fingerprint? Do you see anybody doing that? No. So then why are you trying to change yourself physically? And why are you trying to look like that person? If you don't have that, then don't try to be that. You are special in your own way. God has put stuff in you that somebody wants, which is your mate, that nobody else has. So if you try to look like other women, oh, I want to be like Angelina Jolie. Oh, I want to be like J-Lo. I want to be like Kim Kardashian. Why? As God as my witness, if you give me $100 trillion, which is like the wealth of the entire world, if you make me the wealthiest person on the planet and the king of the planet, the queen of the planet, and say, you have to change Guyane, you can't be her, you have to be like somebody else, you have to go get plastic surgery, you have to be like, I don't know, like Beyonce or J-Lo or Angelina Jolie, I will not do that. as God as my witness, I will not change one thing on me, because that's how God made me. So learn to love yourself and to appreciate what God has given you, and not to try to look like other people. And you will find that one man that wants every single thing that is in you. God has put in things that King David, he could have had any other woman, but he did not see the things in any woman that he wanted his whole life. No, he saw that in Bathsheba. Samson saw that. Samson saw every single thing that he has dreamed about in this one woman. And that is why he gave up everything for that woman. That is why David gave up everything. Do you understand? He almost gave up God, for crying out loud. I mean, technically, he sinned. Do you understand how David sinned? Just because he wanted Bathsheba. Why? Because there was things in Bathsheba that he looked for his whole life. He tried thousands of other women that he couldn't find that he saw in her. So imagine if Bathsheba wanted to look like David's other wives. Ooh, that's David's wife. Oh, she's a queen. I want to be like her. Let me try to be like her. Let me go get plastic surgery. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me put a wig on. Let me get my boobies done. My ass. Like, get a life, woman. Get a life. You look pathetic, you dingleberry. Stop trying to change yourself. Stop trying to look like other women. I feel sorry for women of today. Like, you can't even recognize them. And they're beautiful, and they get plastic surgery. They don't even become beautiful. They look like a lion. Most of you look like a lion, like an animal. I'm sorry. And all of you look the same. All of you look like Kim Kardashian type of women, like same lips, same eyes, same eyebrows, same fake hair. Come on. Come on. And you're wondering why you can't find your mate. Just be yourself, sit down, and wait. And trust God.